Hi everyone, my name is Mayanthi and I'm a qualified counsellor. I'm here to share some tips with you on how I became a counsellor and what you might want to know if you're looking to become a counsellor as well. So in my last video I talked about what I studied and where I studied and how long that took, so feel free to go check that one out if you want to know more. But in today's video I just wanted to share with you a bit about my experience on studying psychology and then going on to studying counselling. So I studied at Adelaide University and I initially went into psychology wanting to become a counsellor. So I studied the Bachelor of Psychological Science, and when I got into the bachelor's I thought at the end of that I would be a psychologist, and I did want to do more counselling work rather than kind of assessments on people and diagnosing their conditions, but I didn't exactly know the difference between psychology and counselling and all of that, so I kind of just went into uni a little bit blind on that information. So when I started, the bachelor's is 3 years, and what I found out later on was to become a clinical psychologist you have to also do the honours year and then the master's, which is generally 2 years but can take longer depending on what kind of stream you're doing. So when I found that out I was a bit surprised that I would have to study for 6 years to become a clinical psychologist. So once I was getting close to finishing the bachelor's, you kind of had to decide what you were going to do after that, and if you were going to go into the honours year, or if you would go on to study something else or just find a job in the field. Because once you finish the Bachelor of Psychology there are jobs that you can do, you just wouldn't be practicing as a psychologist. So I went to the uni kind of course advisor person, and they let me know that there was a new degree coming out, which was I think at that point in its first kind of trial year, but it was the Masters of Counselling and Psychotherapy. And to get into that Masters you didn't need to do the honours year in psychology, and also I was told that the Masters was a bit more practical based, a bit more skills based, so you'd be learning more counselling skills and how to become a counsellor. So that really interested me because the psychology honours year is basically doing research and I'm not particularly interested in research, so the Masters in Counselling definitely sounded more of an interest to me. Also, to get into the Psychology Honours year you have to have quite a high GPA, and I didn't have that at the time, so it just seemed like it was meant to be for me to go on to study counselling. So that was why I decided to study the Masters in Counselling and Psychotherapy, and I'll share with you in some other videos about my experience in the Masters and yeah, just let you know my recommendations and thoughts about that. So thank you for watching. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you're interested in watching and hearing more about my journey.